Today I want to talk to you guys about my fitness journey, where it started, why it started, when it started, and also why I decided to create the Father Fit channel. So around September 2025, I sat with serious back pain. I was convinced that it was sciatica. So for those who don't know what that is, it's basically the nerve running from your back down all the way into your foot. My conclusion was, with all the issues that I was having, is that that nerve was pinching or it was too short or something. I'm not a health expert, but from what I could read online and using ChatGPT and all that kind of things, the conclusion brought me back to that all the time. So I assumed that this was correct. And it affected my whole life, from laying down in bed to sitting to standing to bending down to tie my shoes, but especially how I could show up as a father. And that was the biggest issue for me. There were times when I could physically not play with Monet, my daughter, because it was just too painful to get down and pick her up or anything like that. And honestly, that was the most devastating for me. I could still deal with the pain, but dealing with the pain and having to give her the attention that she needs, quite a devastating thing. And then at that point, I realized that something had to change. I had to make a change in my life to deal with this back pain. Not eventually, not someday, now, immediately. So I have a friend that does CrossFit quite professionally, if I can say that. He's not a pro, but he does it like religiously, almost, you can say. Every day he's eating the gym. He looks very well. He's been doing it for years and years, and he's like a top athlete, top fit. And so naturally, I was inclined to ask him to help me. So I did, and the good friend that he was, he agreed to it, and we trained on average twice a week since then. And then above that, I would also go and jog on average twice a week. So that gave me 4 training sessions within a week. At the same time, I also decided that I'm going to start intermittent fasting. I was not sure exactly if the back pain was sciatica or maybe some internal issue with my gut system. So rather than trying the one and then not seeing if it works and then trying the other, I just went for it and did both at the same time. So the intermittent fasting, I must say, is quite a game changer. If you are someone like me who likes the sweet stuff and doesn't want to go on a diet, it's not a diet. And if people tell you intermittent fasting is a diet, they don't know what they're talking about. Coming from someone who's been doing it now for a few months, it's basically discipline. That's what it is. So I try to fast for about 16 hours. And then in the next 8 hours that I'm not fasting, I fit in all the food that I used to eat in a day. I fit into that 8 hours. So I still eat everything that I did previously, and I'm not on a diet. I don't cut out anything. If I want to eat it in that 8 hours, I eat it, whether it's sweets or chocolate or ice cream or whatever the case might be. I eat whatever I want to in that 8 hours and then fast for 16 hours. So I also tried to do that for 4 times a week since then, and it was a bit easier than I thought it would be. You always have this thought of fasting being a very difficult thing to do. Now I hear, obviously, for men it's much easier. I did 4 training sessions a week, and I did 4 intermittent fasting days per week since around September. So what this came down to for me is no obsessions, no extremes, just pure consistency, week on week, day on day. And then eventually it turned into months. At the point where we started, I weighed just around over 90 kilograms. And from my experience through my life, I know that I feel most comfortable just around over 80, 82, somewhere around there. I'm 1.9 meters tall. I can be a bit more heavy because of my length, but I was always like a skinny kind of body style. So that was my goal when I set off on this journey. I wanted to weigh again around 80, 82. So I had basically 8 to 10 kilograms to lose. It is now early January 2026. So it's about 4 months now since we started this whole thing. And also keep in mind that we had a vacation now. So during vacation time, I didn't fast, and you tend to be more lazy and just lay around and that kind of things. So at the moment, I dropped down to 86 Ks. That's basically half of what my goal is to lose in weight. But more importantly, I feel my life has changed completely in this 4 months. I feel more energetic. I wake up early mornings and through the day you get these dips of energy, but energy is up, fitness is up. I can see physically there's a change happening in my body. Gut health is much better. Back pain is gone unless I don't exercise. So what I realized was, especially now during our holiday time, if I don't exercise for more than, let's say, 4 to 5 days or so, I can definitely feel the back pains coming back. So it might be that I'm not completely over it yet. I do some stretching and that kind of things, but the most important part for me is that when I exercise, I don't have back pain. So it's quite a good motivator for me to keep going. And yeah, that's where I'm at the moment. The main reason I started training and intermittent fasting was to deal with an issue that was causing me to not be the father that I wanted to be. I didn't want back pain or any kind of pain or gut health or energy or anything to impact my fatherhood and limit how present I could be with my daughter. And we have a son on the way, so also with him. So this was a long-term goal for me to become a fit father that could do what I wanted to do and what I needed to do with my children and be a good father and a good husband. I want to run around and play with the kids. I want to pick them up. I want to be involved and I want to be available mentally and physically, be available for them, for my family. And that is also the reason why I started the Father Fit channel. It's not a bodybuilding channel. It's not about extremes or aesthetics. My goal is to help other fathers, especially busy fathers, fathers with their own businesses or who have long hours at work, to build their strength, get their energy levels up, be more resilient so that they can improve their quality of life, be a better father and husband, physically, emotionally, and mentally. So if you are struggling with pain, low energy, weight gain, or just motivation, I want you to know this. Small, consistent steps matter. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to start. This routine I came into the last 4 months cost me about 30 minutes per day. And I see that as a very, very small price to pay for that. 30 minutes per day. This video is both an introduction to the Father Fit channel and also an expansion of my 30-day talking to a camera challenge on Duan Daily, showing up honestly, talking to the camera and sharing real life. If any of this resonates with you, I'd love you to follow along, not just to get fitter, but to live a better life. Strong fathers build strong families. Fitness isn't vanity, it's responsibility. Train for life, train to live, train for your kids. I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.